Halloween began over 2,000 years ago with the ancient Celts of Ireland, Britain, and northern France. Their festival, Samhain, meaning summer's end, marked the death of the harvest and the beginning of winter, a season they believed blurred the line between the living and the dead. To protect themselves from roaming spirits, people lit bonfires and wore masks made of animal heads and hides. These were, in essence, the first Halloween costumes. In the year 825 AD, Emperor Louis the Pious set November 1st as All Saints' Day, which became better known as All Hallows' Eve. Centuries later, this was shortened to Halloween. In this special episode, we are reanimating vintage Halloween photographs from the 1900s. So stick around and watch these old and creepy pictures come to life before your very eyes. But I must warn you, the old-fashioned masks people used to wear were pretty bizarre. So put your feet up, sit back, and enjoy the show. Welcome to Animata Historia, breathing life into historic photographs from around the world to remind us of how we used to live, where we came from, and what made us who we are today. Once the name Halloween took hold, the festival kept evolving. Across centuries, old customs blended with new folklore. Witches, ghosts, fairies, and mischief woven into the night. In Britain and Ireland, children began guising, dressing in disguise and going door to door for food or coins, a playful echo of the ancient belief in wandering spirits. The custom of wearing masks and strange costumes on Halloween runs deeper than simple disguise. It's a memory of older fears. Long ago during Samhain, people believed the dead could cross back into the living world. They lit fires and wore animal skins to hide from wandering spirits. By blending in, they hoped to go unnoticed by whatever roamed the dark. As the centuries passed, the masks stayed, but the meaning shifted. In medieval Europe, costumed processions mixed with church festivals and folk theater. In Ireland and Scotland, guisers went door to door in ragged clothes, performing little songs or tricks in exchange for food. When those traditions sailed to America, the costumes grew stranger. Homemade ghosts, paper devils, cardboard animals. By the 1920s and 30s, masquerade had become mischief, and the weirdness was the point. To wear a mask on Halloween was to play with the boundary between self and shadow, to borrow a face for the night and see what might stare back. It's fascinating to see what weird and wonderful costumes people used to wear when Halloween was a relatively new tradition. We can see how the themes have changed throughout the different decades. As with most traditions still celebrated today, we often keep them going with little understanding of their actual origins or true meaning, yet we manage to bring a new and modern context to proceedings, which is also a lot of fun. I mean, who doesn't enjoy getting dressed up once in a while? Today's costumes are often quite gory and horror-themed, as one might expect, with the usual suspects like witches, devils, scary clowns, and horror movie references. But back in the day, it seems that anything would pass for a costume. As long as your face was covered, you were good to go. From a couple of human anteaters in love to men with giant eyeballs for heads, Halloween brings out the creative in us all. The biggest difference between modern Halloween today and that of 100 years ago is the fact that most masks and costumes back then were made from home. Although department stores like Sears and Montgomery Ward did start advertising paper masks and crepe paper outfits in the early 1900s. Whoever fashioned these fantastic masks has shown some real skill and creativity. They have an otherworldly look about them with a hint of both the Celtic past and the technological future. By the late 19th century, those Irish and Scottish customs had taken firm root in the United States. Parades, neighborhood parties, and soon trick-or-treating turned the once solemn night into a celebration. Costumes shifted from ghosts and devils to movie monsters, clowns, and every kind of playful disguise. Nowadays, trick-or-treating has become this bizarre custom where children can approach any stranger's door and ask for candies, standing there with their buckets and bags trying to cram in as much confectionery as they can possibly squeeze in. Of course, their parents are nearly always nearby, encouraging their sweet children to remember their manners. If we look on the cynical side of things, it's almost a polite form of begging. But that's how humans work. We tolerate all sorts of unusual behaviors in order to conform to society's norms. Because whether we like Halloween or not, it's hard to say no to a doorstep of excited children on their special day. And nobody ever chooses the trick option, do they? Clowns weren't always scary. For most of history, they were comic, figures of fun under bright tents and painted smiles. But by the late 1800s, something changed. The sad clown appeared in art and theater, a performer laughing on the outside, broken beneath the paint. Then came the 1970s. Real-life horror blurred with fiction. Stories like John Wayne Gacy's, and films that twisted childhood symbols into nightmares. By the 1980s and 90s, the clown had become a Halloween monster, its grin frozen, its cheer turned inside out. Now the face that once made children laugh is one of the most feared masks of the season, a reminder that the line between laughter and terror has always been paper thin. A clown hides behind exaggeration. A fixed grin, bright eyes, movements too big to be human. The face says happy, but the body doesn't always agree. That mismatch unsettles something deep, our instinct for honesty and expression. Over time, stories and headlines twisted that unease into fear. The painted smile became a mask of deceit. From circus tents to silver screens, the clown stopped performing for us and started performing at us. Too close, too knowing. Now, when we see that white face and that frozen grin, we're not sure what's underneath. And that uncertainty, that's what makes clowns so frightening. Witches became Halloween icons because they carry the oldest echoes of the night itself. Long before Halloween was about candy, witches embodied mystery, fear, and power. Figures who walked between worlds. During the witch trials of Europe and early America, they were symbols of danger. Later in folklore and film, that danger turned theatrical. Black hats, broomsticks, and moonlit laughter. By the early 20th century, when Halloween shifted from ritual to revelry, the witch costume offered something rare. A little rebellion, a little magic, and a face for every secret superstition still left in the dark. The witch may be one of Halloween's oldest and most enduring symbols, but she didn't start as a figure of fright. Her roots reach back to the Celtic festival of Samhain, when people believed certain women, healers, seers, midwives, held knowledge of herbs, the moon, and the unseen. They were thought to move between worlds, guiding spirits and protecting against them. As Christianity spread, that power grew suspect. Old folk practices were labeled witchcraft, and the wise woman became the villain. When Halloween evolved from Samhain and All Hallows' Eve, the witch came with it, riding her broom through centuries of folklore. Her black cat, her cauldron, her pointed hat, all relics of superstition and misunderstanding. But beneath the caricature, the witch still carries traces of her first meaning. A keeper of mystery, a woman who knows too much about the dark. This old photograph from 1914 shows a group of young women with nothing else but a simple handcrafted mask each in a time before the concept of Halloween became standardized. By the 1930s, we can already recognize the staple Halloween items of today, with the carved pumpkin face and black cat, There also seemed to be an unlikely fascination with one very famous cartoon mouse too. During that same period, we start to see another familiar Halloween character, the skeleton, which remains extremely popular today. No costume screams death, quite like the old Skelly Bob. But I can't recall ever seeing horses dressed like skeletons before. The pumpkin wasn't always part of Halloween either. It became the star by accident of geography. In Ireland, people carved grim faces into turnips or beets to ward off evil, the first jack-o'-lanterns. When immigrants brought the tradition to America in the 1800s, pumpkins quickly replaced them, larger, easier to carve, and glowing more warmly against the dark. By the late 19th century, pumpkins filled Halloween postcards and party decorations. In the 20th, they lit suburban porches across America, cheerful, glowing replacements for the bonfires of Samhain. Today, they're more than folklore. They're the face of Halloween. A grin cut into orange flesh, shining between the worlds of the living and the dead. This American girl from the 1930s thought she would go one step further and actually become the pumpkin. This concept originated in old folklore with Stingy Jack, the predecessor to the more modern version of Jack-o'-lantern. It's good to see the family dog getting involved in the celebrations too, back in 1945, the first Halloween after the war. The flame lights up this boy's face. He doesn't know it, but he's part of a story that began thousands of years before, when people still feared the dark. In kitchens and porches across America, children carved grinning faces into orange flesh, bringing an old Irish legend to life. Each candlelit smile turned superstition into celebration. Here, children bob for apples, testing luck and laughter in the flicker of lamplight. A bite meant good fortune. Or maybe it was all just for laughs. As we head into this final selection of vintage Halloween photographs from the 1900s, I'm going to leave you to enjoy the images and music in peace. I hope you enjoyed this special episode. If you did, please feel free to like, share, and comment on the video, as it really does help the channel to grow. And for all you new viewers out there, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos in the future. Goodbye for now. See you on the next one.